princess, welcome back to my channel, or if you're new here, just welcome. Hi, my name is Brenda. I do mostly paranormal videos here on my channel, so if that is something that you are interested in, please consider subscribing down below and turn on your post notifications so you do not miss when I post another video like this one. Now, before we get into today's video, as you can tell, I'm not in my normal setting. I'm actually in this really creepy room that's located somewhere. I won't disclose the location, but it's somewhere, and I didn't have time to film, and I probably won't this weekend, so I decided why not film here while I'm at it. So that's why I don't have any makeup on, I don't have my microphone or anything, and it's super echoey in here, and I'm like scared to get caught too. Not that I'm not allowed to film here, but that I'm scared to get caught filming here because that's embarrassing. And I also hope that the audio quality doesn't suck, because yeah, everything is just like, there's a bunch of stuff in here and it's still super echoey, so I don't know what to do. And I'm gonna be like keeping lookout to make sure nobody's looking for me or anything, but yeah, we'll see how this turns out. So with all of that being said, let's go ahead and get into today's video. Alright, so again, I apologize if I'm too quiet, or I'm like trying not to make it sound super echoey and awful. And I'm on like a weird setting because I'm on these weird ugly chairs and they're really low to the ground, and I don't have my tripod or anything. Anyway, you guys get it, I'm not in my usual setting. Okay, so let's start with the first one. This one is submitted to me. Story number 1 is submitted to me by Judith Valencia. It says, "Hey girlie, I'm back again with another paranormal story. This time it's from my parents' recent home that's over 100 years old. I mentioned it on my last story time. I'll try not to make it super long, and I'll break them up into different stories if I have to. I was around 15 when our parents moved to this current home in 2002. My brother was around 19 years old at that time. He already had experimented using the Ouija board in our last home, La Casa Verde. Well, he began to use it again in this house. Oh my god, he doesn't learn his lesson. In the basement with a few friends and a neighbor boy from next door. My sisters and I never played it, nor did we ever see him playing it. But we would be definitely curious, and we would ask him questions about who he would communicate with. He told us about a little girl that had communicated with them and a friend of his that had passed away. That was his main reason for trying the Ouija board again, to see if he would talk to her. She had passed away December 15, 2003, along with another classmate. 7 other high schoolers were injured that day on a school van that would transport them to Eastern Washington University. The driver lost control on the icy road. Both girls didn't have on seatbelts and were ejected. What made this more sad was that his friend passed away on her 17th birthday. He would tell us about his friend, how she would do things on command. He would say to make a noise, and sure enough, we would hear stuff. Thumps in the upstairs room, footsteps, running. We always thought that this wasn't his friend but an evil thing that made itself at home by using that board. It wasn't a good vibe when things would happen, but he was sure it was her because the board would say things that made him believe it was her. He also told us that a little girl died here in this house in the upstairs room in the closet, but that she never did say how she passed. She then soon stopped answering their questions on the board. We didn't get to see this little girl till years later. He told us at the time he stopped playing it, not long after starting again. They headed outside to smoke right after playing the board, and they saw a dark figure with red eyes peering out from a tree in the backyard, and they all saw it. Later that night, his friends had left except for the neighbor. He had spent the night in the basement. He explained to my brother that he saw the figure once again, and that it was under the stairway looking at him. He woke up my brother, and my brother said that the neighbor was shook, and he was crying of how scared he was. So that night, they stayed awake. We were scared when he told us this, so we told my mom, and she told him to not be playing that anymore. From the moment we moved here, it was always a creepy feeling, But after my brother played the board here, we would always hear footsteps of heavy working boots in the kitchen, the doorknob rattling, and something running up on the top floor. My brother would show us scratches on his back, and he wouldn't sleep well. My sisters reminded me of the time that they heard me calling out to them when I wasn't home, but they both swore that it was my voice. When I had my son, my sister would take care of him while I would go to work. One morning in 2010, when I had to go to work early in the morning, I had placed my son, 4 years old, on the couch so he would keep sleeping. My sister was gathering a few things before she would come down. Later that morning, my sister called me at work to tell me that my son had told her that he had seen a little girl with a white dress and long yellow hair. That's how he explained it, and doing the motion of curls with his finger. And that she was hiding behind a large plant my mom had on the corner, and that her feet weren't touching the ground. He said that he felt so scared to get up and run upstairs because he felt that she would get him. So he closed his eyes until my sister came down. My sister gave him a paper and pencil for him to draw it, and she sent me the picture. It does look a little different than how he explained it, but he was 4. He was the first to see the little ghost girl, but this isn't the last time this girl has appeared, but I'll save that for another story time. And I said I wasn't going to make the story time long, lol. I'm not sure if you can share this or not, but I'll send it to you. It's the newsletter about my brother's friend. Death of teens serve as a reminder about band dangers. And then she leaves a link for the article, which I will show you guys here. And I'll probably link it below. And also find a grave for the memorial. And she attaches a picture of what her 4-year-old drew in 2010, which looks pretty freaking creepy. It's like next to the plant. That's creepy, oh my god. I would for sure believe him, and I'd be like, what? Deuces. Thank you so much, Judith. That was actually really creepy, and I was actually kind of getting creeped out reading it here. And I like saw somebody walking down there too. It kind of creeped me out at the same time. I'm sorry if I sound so out of breath. It's because I literally had to walk up a bunch of stairs, as you guys saw up here, and then on top of that I'm like nervous. I'm like so nervous. Like I'm really scared. Like nobody knows really, like people in my real life don't really know about my YouTube channel, so yeah, anyway, I should probably get over that fear. Okay, and this one is sent to me by Lily. It says, hey girl, first I want to say hi, and I'm a big fan. Hi girl. It says, my name is Lily, here's my story. One night, my friend and I decided to play with the Ouija board. I know, so stupid. Nothing happened, nothing moved, so we decided to go to bed. But a few minutes later, my diploma fell from my bookshelf for no reason. We didn't pay much attention to it, so we went to bed. The next day, we came back home pretty late and the entire house was dark. Let me paint you a picture. As soon as you enter my house, there is a long hallway. For some reason, my friend and I were too scared to take the first step in, but then she whispers, I just saw your brother. I think he's trying to scare us. Very confident, she began to walk in the dark hallway, preparing to catch my brother. So I decided to call his phone so we could see where exactly he was hiding. But then he answered. He was out with his friends. What the fuck? My friend ran back to the front door. She said to me, I swear I saw someone. But what freaked me out the most was she said that it was crawling. My parents didn't believe me at first. My mom would always tell me, persínate, but she would always say it messing with me. I have seen that thing so many times, crawling in the hallway. But now I'm not the only one who sees it. My brother saw it too, and now my mom too. She's too scared to stay home alone now. Sometimes when we are all working late, she'd rather stay outside in her car until we get home. We had someone come over and cleanse the house, but every so often we still see and hear something. Love your videos. Thank you. Oh my god, that is so scary. That, ew, it's like crawling on the ground. No, thank you, ma'am. Thank you so much, Lily, for sending that. That was a really good and scary ass story. Like, girl, no, actually, persínate. Like right now, do it right now. Okay. And I'm gonna read the last one, story number 3. I know I'm kind of in a rush because, as I said, guys, I'm so uncomfortable. But I'm doing this for you guys because you guys need the content. I know it. It says, Hola belleza. This is a story from my grandma. She explained that when she was younger, she helped her stepmom in the cornfield, and my grandma got lost in the field during the afternoon and noticed a group of kids playing, telling her, ven aquí, come here, come here. Of course, my grandma followed the kids, but then her stepmom pulled her and asked who she was talking to, and to never get far away from her again. Since that day, my grandma has always wondered who those kids were out so late in the cornfield. She told me she assumed that they were duendes since the kids did not look human-like either. Ugh, no, I don't like that. I hate duendes so much. They scare me. I do not like that at all. No, ma'am. I'm good. Okay. Actually, I'm gonna read one more because I think I have time, okay? Story number 4. Here we go. It says, Hey girl, my name is Jessica Ramos from North Carolina. Hi, Jessica. I love your videos and I want to share you mine. Back in 2014, my husband and I had moved into a comadre's house temporarily because we couldn't afford rent on our own quite yet. So she offered to rent us a room. She had moved us to her daughter's room with a half bathroom. Inside that bathroom and other few rooms in her home, she had La Santa Muerte Roja, Our Lady of the Holy Dead. She offers like a financial well-being, healing, protection for creyentes. She's had like 4 in her home. Not going to lie, it freaked me out a little, having her in the room, but I couldn't say anything. It's her house, you know. One night, La Comadre and I were cooking, and on top of the counter, she had a couple of books. So my nosy self grabbed a book called El Libro de la Santa Muerte. I even asked her, Comadre, is it okay to read the book since I'm not a Santa Muerte believer? She said, oh yeah, go ahead, it's just a book. And I was like, okay. I sat down and I didn't start from the first page. I just opened like in the middle and I started reading a few sentences. I started reading about the devil, Lucifer, and black magic. The clock was hitting 12 a.m. when I started reading it, and all of a sudden I started yawning. I felt so tired and told my husband, let's go to bed. Early morning, my husband woke up very early around 5 a.m. because he had to drive an hour to get to work. We were out in the country, so he had to leave super early. He left and I went back to sleep, and not even 10 minutes passed when I clearly heard my room door open, and I could hear it because it had a squeaking noise. I started feeling someone crawling towards me with a growling noise, and I was making an effort to move and turn around to see who it was, but my body wasn't answering me. I couldn't move or yell, but I knew I had my eyes open and it wasn't a dream. I was panicking. When it got to my neck, they said my name, Jessica, and then it started speaking another language. It sounded like French. It's probably Latin. Girl, right after that, I got knocked out. I felt like I went into a coma. I felt it didn't pass a second, and when I woke up, I freaked out. It had passed 3 hours when my husband left. It was 9 a.m. I got up and I was thinking, what the hell was that? I didn't tell my husband about what happened to me, and in the evening, La Comadre asked me, did you leave your room in the morning? I was like, no, why? Maybe you heard Hector leave. She said, no, that was after. I'm like, nah, I went back to sleep. She said, weird. I heard you slam your door. That's when I told her what happened. She stayed quiet. She was like, I'll tell you something, but don't get scared. And I'm like, okay. It was her. I'm like, who? She said, mi santita. How? She asked, well, you see, you read the book. Then she said, you need to light a candle to her so she can leave you alone. So I did. Days had passed, everything was peaceful. Nothing paranormal happened again. Till one night again, but this time I dreamed her. She had went into my room and told me clearly again, Jessica, and she pointed to a corner of the room. She said, Quiero que me hagas un altar aquí. And she wanted her to make her an altar right there. Then she disappeared. I woke up that instant and I prayed and I told her, I'm sorry for reading your book. Please leave me alone. I stopped dreaming about her or had any other activities again. But now I'm here again dreaming her once in a while. I guess she really wants me to make her an altar. Hope you liked my story, girl. I'll send you some more later. Girl, what the hell? That is so freaking scary. Why? I would not even touch that. Like, I know everybody has their beliefs and like, I don't really know a lot about like La Santa Muerte or anything like that, but that would be so terrifying. She's probably like, you're one of us now, so now you gotta make me an altar. And I don't know, that's freaking terrifying. But thank you so much, Jessica. I really, really enjoyed that story. That's like insane to me. Okay guys, that is going to be the last story I have for you guys today. Thank you so much if you made it all the way to the end of the video. And I'm sorry if I was in a rush, as I said a million times already. But before I do end today's video, the comment shout out goes to this person right here. Thank you so much for leaving a nice comment. I always really do appreciate it. And if you want to be the next comment shout out, all you have to do is leave me a nice comment down below and that's it. Now with all of that being said, you guys, hopefully I will see you in my next one. Don't forget to stay safe and be kind. Bye-bye.